Mujin wonders if he's doing something wrong, sensing a subtle change in Hyun Chun's tone that signals his mistakes. As the training continues, Mujin notices a pattern. Whenever he performs a step correctly, Hyun Chun chants calmly or uses a low-tone cough, but when he makes a mistake, Hyun Chun dry coughs or raises his tone. Through this communication, Mujin begins to align his movements with the rhythm of the chanting, refining his technique over time. This secret training session goes on until sunset. Despite the successful training session, Mujin is left wondering why Hyun Chun is helping him. Hyun Chun, on the other hand, reflects on the time he's dedicated to treating Grandmaster Hyun Guang and realizes that it has taken a significant chunk of his own training time. He decides that Mujin should use this time to make up for the training he's missed, ensuring that he won't lose any more time in his development. After some time, Abbot Hyun Chun coughed loudly, signaling the arrival of a Shaolin disciple who brought grain balls and water. The disciple placed the food down and left, and both Hyun Chun and Mujin remained in their lotus positions, continuing their wall-facing training. Mujin, who had been practicing martial arts, was sweating heavily and thought to himself that he almost got caught training. He wasn't expecting someone to come in unnoticed. Fortunately, the abbot's dry cough warned him in time. Now he is certain he's deliberately trying to train him. Feeling the urge to stretch his limits, Mujin stood up and decided he could no longer stay in the cave. He moved toward the exit, and as he left the cave, Abbot Hyun Chun, unaware of Mujin's true intentions, reflected on his decision, thinking, it seems like Mujin is eager to train. He understands how he feels. The cave is too cramped for him to train properly. I'll let him go out and train. However, Hyun Chun did not realize that Mujin was not leaving the cave to practice his martial arts, but instead to seek out protein. At that moment, Biob Jian, observing Hyun Guang's condition, remarked, Grandmaster, I didn't notice it at first because I was so focused on your treatment, but you've really changed. Hyun Guang's body, which had been weak and frail, began to show significant improvement after incorporating meat into his diet, following Mujin's suggestion. His muscles, which had been virtually non-existent, started to develop, and with this newfound strength, he was able to move on his own without needing Biob Jian's assistance. As Biob Jian prepared to leave to get lunch, a junior monk arrived and informed him, it's time. Biob Jian left to prepare the meal, while Hyun Guang's expression grew solemn. Reflecting on his own past decisions, Hyun Guang thought, this all happened because of his stubbornness. He only realized the truth after all this time. He began to move on his own, pondering the abbot's earlier words. The abbot blamed himself for adhering too rigidly to tradition, even saying that the Shaolin Temple would have been different if I had become the abbot. He didn't agree with him before, but now he understands his guilt. It's because, in many ways, he is just like him. As Hyun Guang arrived at the hill above the main Shaolin building, he reflected deeply on his past choices, muttering to himself in regret. He realized how foolish he had been in the past, particularly in his attitude toward his own condition and the traditions of the Shaolin Temple. He admitted to himself that his inability to move without assistance had made him blind to the importance of flexibility and adaptation in life. Now, as he had recovered enough to stand on his own, he found clarity in his thoughts. Hyun Guang began questioning the value of adhering so strictly to the temple's traditions, even at the cost of his own well-being. He remembered the time when the special task force of the demonic cult had invaded, leaving him physically crippled and unable to walk. In the aftermath, he had constantly assured others and himself that he was fine, even though deep inside, he had already given in to despair. Despite his vast knowledge of martial arts and scriptures, he recognized that his heart had become hardened, unable to fully embrace the teachings he had once held dear. His shattered energy core, which prevented him from gathering energy, had been a constant reminder of his limitations. Hyun Guang now understood that he had been stubborn, clinging to outdated notions of honor and tradition. With this realization, he began to see the futility of his previous mindset. Even if everything around him were to disappear, the memories and lessons he had learned would remain within him. He reflected on the philosophical concept of form and emptiness, recognizing that things exist in both tangible and intangible forms, and that the true essence of life transcends mere physical presence. Hyun Guang, now sitting in a lotus position atop the hill, began chanting deeply, reflecting on the enlightenment he had just achieved. He understood that everything in the world, including feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, was interconnected, and he decided to integrate this new awareness with his previous knowledge. His meditation led him to the realization of ultimate enlightenment, recognizing the vast energies flowing